I want to do another video regarding specifics when it comes to pricing. I have a two-door Jeep Wrangler here. It is a 2000, I think it's a 2014 or 15. It's got about 30,000 miles on it, and it has some mild to moderate swirl marks on it. I'm going to be doing a two-step correction, and normally I would have priced this as a one-step correction, but there's so little overall paint on this compared to even if you were to do a Porsche, which is a really small car. There's so much less paint on this Jeep compared to a Porsche that I priced it as a two-step just because it's going to take me about as much time as a thorough one-step. Now, what I'm going to be doing to this, I've already washed it, just got done washing it, pulled it in, I clayed it. I'm getting ready to tape everything off, because taping off something that has a lot of plastic, a lot of trim, a lot of smaller areas like this is going to be essential, because I don't want to get polishing oils or residue on areas that don't need to have polishing residue, because it's just going to take more of my time to clean that off later. I'm going to do a two-step correction. I think it's going to take me about 6 hours on this Jeep. I'm going to wipe everything down with panel wipe. I'm going to put 2 coats of EXO. It's not going to take much EXO for this Jeep because it's not very much painted surface. I'm going to put C5 wheel armor on the wheels, and I'm going to put C4 trim restorer on all the trim to keep it nice and clean. I priced this particular detail. It's going to take me, I plan on having it all day today, and then early in the morning come out here, lay the coatings in about an hour and a half and be done with it. So I'm charging around $750 for this. Now, depending on where you're at in the country, you could possibly get double that. To me, I like to treat people the way I want to be treated, and I thought that was a fair price for the amount of work that I'm going to put into this. I'm going to be making a little less than $75 an hour because I do have some coating costs, but I don't have that much coating cost because of the size of this Jeep. I'll make about $650 profit off of this project, and I'll have it done. I scheduled it on a day that I have church in the evening, so I can't spend a late day, or normally I would just spend like a 10-hour day, get it all done in a single day, and have it behind me. So I'm going to have this done in about 8 to 10 hours total. I'm charging $750 for it. I'm going to make about $650 profit. To me, that is a really good paycheck for basically a long day's work. In my market, in my demographic, my region, really good paycheck. And the reason why I priced it for that is because for me, if I can make $650 in a day, and that's profit, and that doesn't count taxes and stuff like that, but that's a personal expense to me. That's not a business expense. I have to pay personal income taxes on that. But $650 is a good day's work, and it's a good paycheck for a long day. If I was in St. Louis, if I was in Nashville, if I was in Chattanooga, which is just a few hours away from me, I would have charged probably $1,000 to $1,250 for this, just because I feel like the market could support that price a little bit better. As this goes, one thing I want to add to this: when it comes to Jeeps, Jeep people are extremely loyal and committed to their brand. I'm taking a ton of before and after and process pictures of this Jeep, and I guarantee you, once I throw this out there on social media after I get done with this job, I'll probably land 4 to 6 more coating jobs just from this one little Jeep, just because Jeep people talk, they hang out with other Jeep people, and I know this guy's going to be super satisfied, so it's going to lead to other business. Great thing for me, something that I'm really excited about, and that's something that whenever I do get a car that I really feel like is going to lead me towards other business, I definitely want to close that sale. I definitely want to get that business, because I love working on these things. The polishing and the paint correction can get a little intricate because of all the grooves and nooks and buttons and all that stuff, and that can get a little annoying. But overall, it's much less paint than a lot of other vehicles out there. So I'm going to price this at $750. Client's going to be super happy with it, and I really feel like it's going to lead to a lot more business down the road. Something I want you to think about, especially if you're getting into the coating game, is that whenever you have opportunities arrive to you to where you can use a particular vehicle to expand your portfolio and build upon your coating sales, go for it. Absolutely go for it. If they're on the fence, and especially if they pull up, well, I'll get back to you about it. You need to contact them and say, hey, why don't we sweeten this up? Why don't I throw a light interior in? Or why don't we do a engine bay detail included with it? If they're on the edge and you know something is going to really sweeten up your portfolio and really help you to be able to share and expand your business, go for it. Go for it. Throw some extra value in there, even if it's something small, something that's going to push them over the edge, get that deposit, close that sale, and then knock them out of the water with that work. I can't recommend this enough, because this is how you're going to build and develop and grow your coating sales. I didn't have to sweeten the pot with this gentleman simply because he was referred to me by several other people. He was really unhappy with some of the work that another detailer had done for him, and he was excited to see what I could do for him. So he was a motivated buyer, and he thought the price was fair, and he said, let's go for it. So I'm going to make a really good paycheck off of this. It's going to be a job that's going to help my already substantial portfolio of ceramic coated vehicles and really expand it. And it's something to where as long as the client is satisfied, which I'm 100% confident he will be, it's going to lead to a lot of other business on my behalf. So I'm doing these videos because pricing coating and correction jobs is really, really difficult. There's a lot of various aspects behind it. And I'm not telling you if you get a two-door Jeep Wrangler in it with moderate swirl marks that you should correct it and coat it for $750. I'm telling you the methodology behind why I price jobs the way that I do, so that you can take that same sort of methodology, apply it to your own detailing business and your own demographic and marketplace, and you can gear it towards that. Hey, if I would have thought that I could have got $100 an hour plus for this, I would have charged it. In my area, $65, $75 to $100 an hour for coating jobs, that's really good money. It's really good money, and I live a good life because of that. So I stick with that. I'm gradually increasing it over time, but $750 for a two-door Jeep and XO, that's a good price for me. It's something where I know my margins, I know my costs, I get a good discount from Gtechniq for being accredited, and I don't have a massive amount of product cost into this detail, so that allows me to streamline more straight into my bottom line, which is pure profit after a certain point. So this is my methodology in this. I'm going to continue to do these type of videos so that we can discuss why you price things a certain way. Because if you go onto the Facebook groups and you post a picture of something and say, how much should I charge? That is such a loaded, almost irrelevant question that you're going to get so many different answers by so many different people with so many different skill sets in such different geographical regions. What they say is going to mean practically nothing to you because you live in a different area, in a different location, and you have a different skill set, different costs than other people. If I had a shop that I was paying a big lease on every month, there'd be no way I could do this for $750. This would be a $1,000 job because I would have all that overhead that would have to go with it. So think about your pricing, calculate your expenses, and whenever you quote a job, take those expenses and those costs for the time that it's going to take you to do that job, and the chemical supply, towels, applicators, all that stuff, compound, polish, take that straight off the top. Know in general how much time you're going to spend on the vehicle, and then bam, you've got a bottom line of what you're going to make from that particular detail, and you can base your pricing off of that. So if you're wanting to get $100 an hour, and you know this particular job is going to take 10 hours, and you know you have $100 in product cost, boom, $1,100. That's how much I need to do this coating job. And if they say no to it and you know that's what you need to make in order to be profitable and live a good life, then that's what you do. Find a system for pricing that makes sense to you, makes sense to your circumstances, and then stick with it. I stick with this type of pricing system to where I try to make between $65 to $100 an hour on coding jobs every single day. Whenever I'm doing like a 2-year coding like EXO, I'll take the hourly rate down a little bit just because it's so much less hassle to apply. The EXO part of this Jeep, I will have coded within less than an hour, probably 45 minutes. I'll put the 2 coats of EXO on it. The trim doesn't take long at all. I'll do all the trim at once and then level it down. The wheels will take about 25-30 minutes. So in about 2 hours total, I'll have this thing completely coated. I'll be doing final touch-ups and I'll be ready to send it out the door. So anyway, I'm going to get off of here. This is just a litmus test that you can use and a process that you can use to price your own services.